Welcome to the lecture today of opening and managing a business in Israel. My name is Ina, and I'll introduce myself in a second. So what we'll cover today, basically, why open a business in Israel, types of businesses, because there are few of them, registration steps, common mistakes, and of course, Q&A, and resource. I'll send it through Mayan. You'll get the presentation and you'll get mini manual with all the links you need to have to open a business here in Israel. You'll get everything after the lecture, so don't worry about that. That will be for you. So hi, my name is Ina Schichberger. As my name introduced, I wasn't born here in Israel. We made Aliyah 32 years now, from former Soviet Union. I live in Israel in the past 32 years. I work with Gvahim, I think in the past, 3 years now, as a consultant, as pre-Aliyah consultant and a lecturer. And I worked in the Olim department in Ramat Gan for 5 years, and now I'm working in the Jewish world. So I'm familiar with all of that. I'm here to answer all your questions. Maybe you'll see me, if you haven't made Aliyah yet, as your consultant later. Remind me yourself. It's always so nice to have someone from my lectures to have a consultant with. So let's dive in. Why now and why here in Israel? As you all know, Israel considered to be the startup nation. I know that in the past few months, everyone is talking about startups are going away from Israel, but the fact it's not true. We still have more than 40,000 businesses open each year here in Israel in a lot of various subjects. You'll find the Israel economy very dynamic and very creative. There's a lot of flexibility. It means that if you have a business, if you have a small business, you can still work for someone. You can do both. I do that. It's really common here. A lot of people start like that. There's a lot of pluses for people who wants to start small business here in Israel, and they really encourage that here in You'll see it later as we'll just go over everything. And just in general, people are really open-minded here. If you have a small business and you're still working for a company, and you'll hear about a lot of people who is doing both. It's called here also gam vegam, also that and also that. And people are just really creative. As Yossi already said, in Israel, if you have an idea, people won't tell you 100 reasons why it won't work. They will ask you how they can help you to build it. And it's so true. Everyone will give you an advice and on how it can be better and what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And they know someone who can help you. I'll say that use that. Use the benefit of people wanting to help you. They're here for you, and just make advantage of the fact that everyone in Israel knows someone. So in Israel right now, we have basically 3 forms of a company. You have Osek Patur, which is a small business, including Osek Zair, which is a micro business. We'll talk about it a bit later. You have Osek Morshe, and you have an LTD, a full company. Most of the people start from Osek Patur or right now from Osek Zair. It's a new reform that started only last year. When you're exceeding an amount of income, then you're moving into Osek Morshe. LTD and full company is entirely different entity, and they have just different benefits and different things they need to pay. So it's really another story. What is basically Osek Patur? You're earning up to 120,000 shekels a year. You have to note that it's an income, not what you're getting after all the deductions. A lot of people are just getting confused by that. It's really easy to manage. You're not paying VAT, but you can charge your customers also VAT. tutors, designer, Etsy sellers, all of them are usually starting with Osek Patur. It's really important to know, oh, this is messed up, I'm sorry. Not all profession can open an Osek Patur. For example, if you're a lawyer, if you're a book accountant, if you're a doctor, you can open an Osek Patur. You have to start with Osek Morshe. Why? Because they believe that people who have this kind of profession not going to earn less than 120 shekels a year, 1,000 shekels a year. You're for sure going to get more, and you have more customers, and they really want to make sure that you're not, we'll say, making any games with all your income, and you're just delivering everything so you can open an Osek Patur. Osek Patur is really easy to open. You have to register with Mas הכנסה. You have to register with Bituach Leumi, and you're just saying how much you assume you will earn on during your first year. Usually, if you're assuming that you're going to work less than 10 hours a week, and you're going to earn, as I said, less than 120K a year, they're going to tell you, you know what, it's really a small business, like a really small business. So you don't have even to pay anything in advance. If you're not paying anything in advance for Bituach Leumi and you're not doing any payments for Bituach Leumi, it's really important to know that if something happens to you, and as Bituach Leumi here in Israel is your insurance company in general, it means that if you're not paying, you're not getting from them anything. If you're paying for Bituach Leumi, you will get from them anything you need to get as long as you're paying. It's really important to know that. So it's really important to just, before you open your business, to think about it. How much hours do you think you're going to work? How much effort you're going to put with that? If you have your main job yet, if anything, God forbid, happens, are you all getting all your payments from there? Do you plan to getting all your payments from your business? So it's really something you need to think ahead. It means that you can, in the end of the year, everything will, the year ended, let's say it's January of 2026, and VAD is getting to you an information asking, hey, how much did you earn last year? And you're just giving them the information how much you earned, and they're telling you, okay, that's okay. But later on, around this time of the year, you also need to give something that's called doch ishi, which means personal
Report.
Report. Thank you. Oh my God. The basic word. A personal report that's saying, hey, this is what I purchased for my business. This is what I earned, and this is what I got outside, if I had any expenses or anything like that. And you're saying, so I'm working from home, and I had a few meetings here, and I bought I'll say Canva, and I bought PDF, and I bought a few other things, and I need to deduct everything as expenses. And you can do that. You're putting everything in that report, and there's looking at that and saying, oh, great. So your income was, I'll just say 50,000 shekels a year, but the deduction is almost 25,000 shekels a year. So you're going only to pay taxes on those 25,000. It's really important to notice that. So keep receipts, keep everything documented. It's really important. I'll say that because most of the people here in Israel, I know that you'll hear it a lot of times that, you're starting small, you know what? Do it like on the side, like don't pay anything, don't open a business, please don't do that. Because nowadays, most of the people are getting paid through Bit or Paybox or any kind of digital platform. And from the minute you'll open your business, and they can see that that you had any income before that was related to that or was in the area of that, they can see and they can check it up. You have to know that they can check it up to 7 years in the past, and maybe you'll get a fine. So please, if you're thinking about open a business, make sure before that you are opening the business that you do have even 3 or 4 first customers, and then open your business. Don't just open it and then close it, or don't do anything, let's say, how they call it here in Israel, beshachor, like under the mattress, not legal. Any questions about that?
Yes, we have a question. Serge is asking, our businesses travel expenses, air tickets, gasoline, hotel, etc. also deductible for Osek Patur?
Yes, only if you can prove it that it was really connected to your business. If you have later on the tickets to a conference, or maybe you can say that you're traveling to get lectures or I don't know, anything through Israel and you have to drive there. So yes, you can put their gas, you can put their your insurance. It's not going to be fully covered, but partially yes.
I want to ask you about, I opened it last year, the Osek Patur, with a lawyer Argentinian. I'm from Argentina, but I didn't do anything that I was expecting to do, so I let it open. Yeah, if I'm not earning any money or doing any invoice, I'm doing something wrong, let it open, or should I close it? Like, how do you think is the best? Or maybe I want to do something, I let it open. What is the best recommendation for this?
I'll ask you, do you think that you'll have any income in 2025?
I hope yeah, but I really don't know now. I'm trying to work on having it. I'm employed, but I want to do something for my own, and then also I'm thinking about Osek Patur and Osek Morshe, that then I will think. But at the moment, the Osek Patur, I'm not earning any money, so like it's any debt if it's open at the moment.
So if you think that you will earn something in 2025, let it be.
Okay.
If by the end of this year that you see that you still have no income and you don't see any future of getting income in the next few months,
Okay.
then this is my suggestion, it's not a recommendation. I have to say it, I'll maybe consider to close it. It's really important to know, and this is regarding everyone, that once you open a business and then you close it, when you want to reopen it, they can start to ask you questions. Why did you open it? Why you close it? And why do you want to reopen it right now?
So why to close it and not to let it open it? Like,
You can leave it open. If it's still open for, I don't know, 2 or 3, 4 years without any income, they also can ask you, hey, so why is it open and
okay,
you're not closing it?
I understand perfectly.
I think that the recommendation for you is to be switched to Osek Zair, and we'll talk about it in a minute.
Thank you.
Just Gaston, I have a question because I don't know if I understood yes or no. And just to clarify, you're talking about a business in Israel, right? Not in
Yeah.
Argentina.
No,
Okay.
no, in Israel,
Okay, okay.
I told that I wasn't sorry for the mistake, but yeah, I'm in Israel, but I expect to have invoice, but then maybe I will
Good,
talk a
good.
little
Okay.
better of the
Okay,
business.
fair
But
enough. Just I don't want to share.
Well, moving to Osek Zair. So this is a new reform from, in the, I think, past 6 months. Osek Zair is basically a micro business. This is the translation of it. Who can open Osek Zair? Individuals with a simple single owner business. You don't have to report the annual income tax report, as I mentioned before. You don't need to pay anything in advance, and this is, I think, the biggest change between Osek Patur and Osek Zair, is that you don't reduce any expenses. They're saying because you're a micro business, we'll just give you ahead 30% deduction of all expenses. You can't say if you had more, if you had less. It's a fixed price. It's a 30%. So Gaston, I think that in your case, Osek Zaire will be better. They're saying you have to notice that it's still standing, the income is still up to 120K a year as Osek Patur. I think that the biggest,
Ina, sorry,
yeah,
when you're saying single owner business, like can be the business, but I can work for a company and it's not, or you only need to work for that. Like I can have, like I'm a football coach, fitness coach. If I'm fitness coach, but also I work in high tech, is it possible to do it
okay,
like this?
yeah. So it's really important to notice regarding all the businesses here in Israel. It's funny, but you having a business here in Israel and still being employed somewhere else is two different identities. They don't talk to each other. If you're opening a business here in Israel, they don't look at how much you earn as someone who worked for a company. They don't care if you're earning 20,000 shekels or you're earning five shekels. They're only looking on your income as a business owner. Also, it's really important to know when you're opening a business here and you're getting a job here in Israel, because it's two different identities, you're I want like it's not nice to do that, but your people who are hiring you, unless you tell them, can't know that you have a business. You can't fill it in anywhere in all
Okay.
the forms.
Okay.
But please don't do that, and always tell your employer that you have a business, because a lot of them here in Israel don't support you having two businesses without telling them, because they're really
Okay.
afraid that you won't fill all your duties.
Great.
So be clear, say, hey, I have a business, I'm doing it. This is it's not during business hours, it's on my time. Just be aware of that.
Great.
Um, and something that you still have as Osek Patur, as Osek Morshe, and an LTD company, something that you have to fill every 6 years. It's called the Hatzarat Hon. You're declaring how much, just everything that you own. So how much you own. It's including cars, it's including jewelries, it's including electronics, it's including everything. And Osek Zair usually don't do that. This is really new. This really just started with that, but you already can register to Osek Zair if you want to start with that. Questions about Osek Zair?
Is it possible to move easy from one to other one? You know, like from Patur to Sair or to Moshe?
It's usually going only one way, from Osek Zair or Osek Patur to Morshe.
Okay.
It's a bit harder to go down.
Okay.
I won't recommend to do it on your own. But from Osek Patur to Osek Zair, it's a lot easier.
Okay.
We
Great.
have a question, Ina. Can you
Yeah.
explain in more detail the differences in the taxes between the two? And can Osek Zair hire employees?
So there's basically not a lot of difference between the taxes, because if you're still exceeding any, you'll pay your taxes, just not in advance in the end of the year. That's the difference with Osek Zair and Osek Patur.
Mhm.
And no, you usually can't hire. No, I'm sorry. Yes, you can hire someone. But usually you need to know that if you hire someone, your income will be a lot more than 120K a year really quickly.
Yeah. Questions about the first two still. How do you know which one to choose? What is the criteria?
So the criteria between Osek Zair and Osek Patur is really, if you think that you'll have if you have more expense than the 30% of your income, I won't recommend get the Osek Zair, get the Osek Patur, because you can get more back. If you think that you're just doing lectures and you will going or tutoring and you're only going to do that from home and you're not traveling anywhere, so it makes more sense to be Osek Zair because you're not going to get a lot of expenses, and here you can get 30% without saying anything. But regarding the income and regarding the taxes that you're going to pay, everything is going to be the same, and the limit about the income is still the same. It's really important to know that the state of Israel changing the limit of income for Osek Zair and Osek Patur each year. So last year it was 107. This year it's 120. So maybe next year it will be more or less. No one knows. You need to check that.
Is that hatarat? הצהרת הון, sorry. Everything you own as a private person or everything your business owns? Is it just for businesses owners or for everybody?
So it's only for business owners, and it's everything that you own as a person, basically. If you're married,
Why?
is
That sounds crazy that you have
so
to create a index of everything that you own in the world.
it's annoying to do that, but it's really important because this is their way to make sure that people don't open just a business to do laundry, like to launder money. They make sure they want to see that if you just open a business in 2025 and you say, hey, like my income is, I'll say 60,000 shekels a year, and I drive a Honda Civic, and 5 years later, you saying that my income was still up to 120, I'm still Osek Patur, but hey, now I'm driving a Porsche, and they're gonna ask, so how did you do that? And you'll need to prove. This is the logic behind Atzarat Hon. It's really annoying to do that, but it's really easy. You're just making assets of what you have. They do realize that if you bought a refrigerator, I don't know, 6 years ago, you don't have the receipt, and you're just saying from your memory how much it cost you.
Okay. Thank you.
I guess you know, sorry.
I just wanted to ask if that's for Osek Patur or Osek Zair or both.
It's for everyone.
The Hatzarat Hon?
It's for everyone.
I'm just guessing if I'm trying to understand our own question or behind the question, is maybe that it's coming from, and I can understand that when you feel it in a Atzarat Hon and you have your own apartment from before, or you have stuff for your own, then maybe some people are afraid from the future questions like, where did you get it from, or give me a proof of how
Okay.
did you.
So they don't care about anything that you got before that.
Okay.
You're just going to say, and by the way, they're going to ask you how much you have on your pension, and how much do you have in your bank account, and how much do you have in your savings, and everything. So they don't really care how much you got in general before you opened your business. They really just want to see that the growth that you had during those 6 years until the next Hatzarat Hon makes sense.
Okay. There is a question here, can Osek Zair or Patur hire employees? If yes, up to how many? So we answered for the Osek Zair in an answer before that, yes, only one. Okay.
There's no limit basically, but it means that you have more employees, that you're going to you're going to get more income than 120K a year, because you can hire someone and just not go through these limits.
Yeah.
Usually. Osek Morshe. Sorry. Basically this is the next step after Osek Patur. You don't have any income limit. You must charge and report VAT. Here in Israel, it's now 18%. It's just changed from 17. And you can deduct business expenses. As we said, on Osek Patur, you had some limits. You can't do everything. It was partially. Here, you can put everything. And when I say everything, I mean it. people actually even put cars on that, buying a car for your business if you're traveling a lot. Nespresso pods, Nespresso machine, meetings outside with people and clients, everything is going to be there. You're they're going to charge you VAT in a every 2 months. You're going to pay it in advance, and based on the income that you had in the past 2 months before that. In the end of the year, if they see that they charge you too much or they haven't charged you enough, and it also happens, they're going to do all the calculations and will say to you, hey, you need to pay more, or hey, we're going to return you money. So my recommendation for all people who are going to pay VAT, make sure that you have any funds allocated just for that. Just put it aside, don't touch it. And if they're telling you, hey, we need more money, that you won't get surprised and it won't affect everything in your business. You're also going to pay for yourself bituach leumi, and you're going to pay everything. Something that I forgot to tell you, and it's really important to know. It's a law now, and it's mandatory that all the people who have business here in Israel have to pay themselves pension. It's not a choice right now. You have to do that. So it's also money that's going to get from you, bituach leumi, pension, bituach briut, and all of that. Bituach briut, I'm sorry, it's an like health insurance that everybody is paying. If you're working for someone, you'll just see the deduction on your paycheck. And if you have your business, you'll have to pay it yourself. The sky is the limit here. They don't care how much you earn. Like, you can earn as much as you can. You still have to do hatzaraton. You still have to report everything. I really suggest that if you're starting with Osek Morshe and even with Osek Patur for the first few months at least, get someone to help you. Even if you're a native speaker here in Israel, to do everything by your own, honestly, it's not easy, because the words that they're using there and all the information that they're giving, it's not normal for everyone. You can open it right now online. In 10 minutes or in 15 minutes, you'll have your business open. But to make sure that you open everything correctly and you haven't filled anything wrong, just talk to someone with a bookkeeper or accountant just to make sure that everything is as it should be. Questions about Osek Morshe?
Ina, is it possible like to be also employee of your Osek Morshe, or not? Like you have, I don't know, like a company and be like I don't know, fitness coach of the club, something like this.
Even with the company Ltd, you can be employed somewhere and have your company.
Okay, but it's not like, sounds a little like then you need to be, you know, reasonable in how much is your salary, no? Something like this.
No, it's still two different identities.
Okay. Okay.
But
It's
I
really
guess the
important.
Ina,
tax will be.
I'm not sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
my end. I think he meant probably that if you can, as an Osek Morshe, if you can employ yourself
Yeah.
Yes.
and also employ, let's say, yourself and someone else,
Yeah.
and so you're going to be your own employee.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
what you
you're
meant,
always
isn't it?
your own employee when you have your own business, basically. If you meant that you want to get a salary from that, so basically all the income that you're going to get is going to be as your income. If you're paying someone, you're paying it from this income and all
Okay.
your expenses also.
Okay.
When you have your company Ltd, there's something that's called paychecks and you're writing it for yourself. Usually, as you're a Osek Morshe, you can write yourself a check. It's just part of the income.
Okay. Okay. So like the answer is in the Osek Morshe, like you work for you, but because I don't know if I can extend a little, but if I'm thinking in a football club, like to start, I want to like post myself as a fitness coach or as a fitness coach, yeah, of football coach. So I can't put my salary as a to debt the business expenses, right?
No.
Okay.
Why company? It's a whole different story. You're a legal entity. It means that you have people that working for you. It means that you have to have your accountant. You can't do it on your own. It's usually suitable for large revenues or investments, or you have admins and you have different costs, and it's really a different story. Is someone here is interested in company? No. Okay. So because it's a lot of information, and if no one is interested, I don't think it's really deserve much of a time.
But Ina, sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt, Ina, again. What would be the main difference? I understand that there is, legal, it's a legal entity, and what is here in the slide. But what would be the difference between an Osek Morshe, let's say, with 3 employees, and a company? I understand that in other countries, a company protects you as a person a little bit, like your own property in case you go bankrupt. It's better to have a company registered because you separate yourself from the company's liabilities. But in this case, like in Israel, what would be best if you have an income of, let's say, where you're expecting, and God willing, 500,000 in a year, right? Then and then maybe 4 employees, does it make sense to become a company, or Osek Morshe would be enough? What would be maybe the best thing tax-wise, probably?
So everything you said about company is also true for Israel.
Okay.
So in that case, you just gave us an example. I would say that company will be the best thing for you because it really can protect you from anything. And if אלוהים ישמור, לא בשבילנו, you're going bankruptcy, you can't do that on a company, you can't do that on Osek Morshe. Osek Morshe is a whole lot different story. You still have to pay everything, your dad and company. As you know, it's a different process. You have your lawyers, you're protected by law if you have a company.
Right, and not if you are an Osek Morshe. If you're a Osek Morshe, you are kind of an individual still.
Exactly.
And in terms of revenue, like how does someone decide when to change? Let's say you're growing and growing, when to change from Morshe to become a company? What would be a good marker for changing that status?
I won't say it because it's really different for everyone. In this case, I will tell you, ask your accountant. And if it's a good accountant, he will tell you in advance, hey, I think this is the right time to move to a company because it will be beneficial for you. You'll pay less taxes. You can back your money, spend, and get more out of it. But it's really depending on the case and in what area you're working in the industry and everything.
Okay, thanks. And sorry, if I may ask something about the Morshe again?
Sure.
In terms of taxes, I don't remember what you mentioned. If you could please repeat, taxes, what can you deduct, and so forth, please.
Just to see if I understood right, you're asking what taxes you're paying as Osek Morshe?
Yes, please, and your deductions too.
Okay, so there's no limit on your deduction because it's really depending on how much you're spending and how much your income. It just needs to make sense. If you're working and traveling, yes, you can put your car expenses there and just meeting and stuff like that, but no, you can't put I don't know, buying deodorant for yourself. This doesn't make sense. Or makeup or stuff like that. And you're paying every 2 months, you need to pay in advance, you're just VAT. You're also charging your clients VAT. And you're paying for Bituach Leumi, and you're paying your pension.
Okay. Okay, I remember that now. Okay, thanks so much.
You'll get it also in the presentation and in the guideline. Don't worry.
Okay, thanks.
So this is a quick summary for just everything all together. You'll get it later, don't worry. It's my mistake. It's for the last year. It was supposed to do 120 K. I'll change it. I'm sorry. I'll send you the new list.
No problem.
Just make sure that you remember that Osek Zair is going inside Osek Patur. Yeah.
For the VAT, you wrote here by Osek Patur cannot charge VAT. I wrote down that you said you can charge VAT for you cannot charge.
Because you're not getting charged for that, you're not paying VAT, you can't charge your clients VAT. This is the deal.
Got it. Okay. I thought you said the other way.
I'm sorry if I haven't like said it right. I'm sorry. Step by step, and you'll get the links. You don't need to look it up. You're registering with VAT. You're saying, hey, I'm going to, and if it's, yes, you have to register. You're saying, hey, I think that my income is going to be less than 120K. So they'll tell you, okay, so you don't have to pay VAT. You're going to be on Osek Patur. You're registering with income tax file and with Bituach Leumi. It's really important not to forget about Bituach Leumi. A lot of people tend to do that. And I have to say that taxes, Reshut HaMisim and Bituach Leumi are talking to each other. So even if you forgot to do that, they already know that you have a business. And if you're not paying that, you'll get just a large amount of money that you're going to be in debt. And Bituach Leumi is not really nice about that. I'm always telling everyone, Bituach Leumi can be your friend. You just need to read and you need to pay everything. And I'll say in their favor that I can't say thanks to coronavirus, but it's thanks to coronavirus. They started to be really digital, and they, I think, translated more than 80% of their site into English, and it's really nice translation. So use it. I'll also send you inside a link to a site that's called Kol Zchut, which is literally translate to every right. We will be open on business here in Israel. Read it, because everything that you need to know is going to be there. And if something is changing, if they have any new laws or any new anything, Kol Zchut is going to just show it as a banner on the top, and you can read it easily. But I will say that their English button doesn't really work. They have like, I say right now, 30 or 40% of the information in English. So use Google Translate. It works really good.
We have a question.
Yeah.
So Eliana had to step away from a minute from her computer. So she had a question. Can an Osek Patur or Osek Zair understand under an alias, for example, instead of your name, okay, you call yourself service monger. How do you protect that alias?
Yes, you can call yourself whatever you want when you register. It doesn't matter. Your name, your business. And how do you just protect it from someone else to use that name?
That was the question, Eliana? Yeah? How to protect yourself?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
So you are asking also how to protect yourself, right? From someone else using the same name, for example?
Exactly, exactly.
So basically, usually when you register and you're registering online and you're getting a name, if someone else have exactly the same name, they will suggest you to choose something else.
Ah, okay.
And another question, are we still required to use green invoice?
So green invoice is a type of online invoice. You don't have to use green on invoice. There's a lot of options right now in the market. Actually, green invoice is one of the expensive one. just check it out. There's few I know less expensive and few that even are free for use if you have until, I don't know if I remember correctly, up until 10 invoices a month. I'll say that I think that the reason why to use an online invoice is because most of them right now know how to know all the new laws, and they know what to produce and all the like tax incomes and all the information you'll need to gather by the end of the year. They know how to produce it. This is a lot easier for you. And if you're not Osek Zair and you're Osek Patur or Morshe and you have your reductions, you're just clicking, you're taking a picture of the Kabbalah of the invoice and you're sending it to your green invoice or anything that you're choosing. They reading all the information and putting that inside as reduction. So it's really convenient for you.
So at Gvahim, I'm not sure we have the list of online invoice companies, but maybe Ina, you have a link or something for, or we just Google it. I
I'll
don't.
really just suggest you to Google it because there's a lot of them and I don't really want to recommend any of it.
Okay.
Read a little bit and choose whatever are suitable for you.
Is there a place where we can find all the companies, or just Google and whatever comes out?
I'll say ChatGPT.
Okay, okay.
Honestly, he knows all of them and he gives a really great list and a great,
Okay.
great of pros and cons on everyone.
All right, great. Another question we have here: could you recommend accounting companies to support Osek Zair Patur?
I'm not allowed to. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a tricky question, Sergey. It's really, I mean,
I'll
it's hard
say
to
that the best,
recommend someone.
exactly. I'll say that the best advice, and I'm telling everyone that going into Facebook groups, as Facebook is really alive here in Israel, but in groups for Osek Zair, Osek Morshe, Olim who has a business and write this question, you'll get a lot of recommendation and just go through it, talk to people, make phone calls to see who you're relate to, who you feel comfortable with, and then you'll make the decision.
I have another suggestion for you. Since you just finished the GCC, try on the Gvahim network platform. Okay,
Exactly.
I'm sure a lot of Olim could maybe recommend you from their own experience. That's another option, and that's why we have the platform. Really try to use it. Please repeat the name of the person you mentioned who knows about online invoices. We didn't mention a name.
I said
ChatGPT. ChatGPT. Eliana, that was a ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. I think that Claude makes
Okay, the
a
problem
little
with
bit
chat
less
is
better.
that it doesn't guarantee accuracy. So so it
I'm
have to go.
using the version that is paid, so it's really accurate. So I can't tell you if it's good on the one who is free,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
really try it. They have even the free plan has really nice results.
What
Okay, I'll give it a try.
what I
Thank
will
you.
do, Eliana, I will check in our records. Maybe from the past we do have a list or something. I will check it for you, and if I found something, of course, I will share it. Okay. I
Okay,
cannot promise, but I will definitely give it a try.
Okay. I thank you. I appreciate the effort.
If Moshe, Osek Morshe, plans to provide services to entitled outside Israel, should it still pay VAT?
Entities outside Israel.
Entities, meaning like a kind of, yeah.
Company outside
Yeah,
Israel.
yes, that's a good question.
So I'll say that because they don't know how the Israeli VAT is working, I'll say that you'll just put, usually what people do when they have Moshe or company, they'll say that the price for X is Y plus VAT. I'll say that in this case, you'll just put the VAT inside of the price.
Okay, thank you.
Great. So if you're in Osek Patur or Osek Zair, opening a specific bank account just for business, it's not always mandatory. It's always recommended, but I won't start with that. If you're starting with Osek Morshe or moving to Osek Morshe, please open a business bank account that everything will go through this bank account. It's not going to just mix with your personal expenses, with your personal life, and it will be easier for you and for your bookkeeper to keep everything organized and to track everything. By the way, it's really important to know that you don't have to have the same bank as your personal bank and your business bank. You can do it in two different places, whatever bank is offering you the best offer. We already talked about it. Choose an invoicing method, whatever works for you better. And always track income and expenses, because the minute that you get any income, you have to write a Kabbalah, an invoice for that. You always can do that, and retro, you can write it, it's up to 3 months back, but it's not recommended. It's better to, as soon as you get the money, you're writing the invoice. Here in Israel, a lot of businesses are working with the payment method of Shotef, which is this month until the end of this month, plus 30, plus I heard already about 45 and 60 also. So you're writing the invoice not when you've done the work, when you see the money in your bank account. It's really important to know that a lot of places working with the Shotef Plus, so you know that you're usually not going to get your money on the same month that you did the job. It's really important for you, and it's really crucial, especially for small businesses, for your money flow.
I wanted to ask about the saying that there's a separate making a separate account for business. So right now I opened up, I think it's Osek Morshe, to do freelancing. Or whatever. I'm working as an independent freelancer for a company. It's just basically like to pay me my salary. How important is that to have as a separate bank account if it's just a monthly invoice that they're paying?
If it's going to be as your salary,
yeah,
I don't think you have to open another bank account. It's basically just for that. If you're starting to get more incomes, then consider to open another one. Before you go, as I said, start small and legal. Legal is really, really important. Stay organized, ask for help. When I'm saying help is opening it with a bank, with accountant or a bookkeeper. If you have to fill out your first Atzarat on, usually you get it in the end, by the end of the first year owning a business. Don't do it by yourself, because sometimes things that we don't even think about them should be on that Atzarat on. Make your first doch, first
report.
Oh my God, thank you. Your first report with someone who can walk you through that. And when you fully understand everything for next year, you can do it by yourself. It's okay. But the first time, do it with someone, just in case. AI here will be your friend. All the online invoices and all trackers and stuff like that will be your friends. Don't be tempted to buy. We have here in Israel those notepads, or usually like pink, for small businesses. Don't be tempted to do that, because if someone is not near you, or you just gave an online class or something like that, it means that you have to write it and then mail it to him. And when you have everything digital, you're just sending it to person and you don't have to think about it. It also helps you to stay organized, because you're buy something, you're just taking a picture of it and like of the invoice, and that's it. Everything is organized, everything is there for your bookkeeper. if you're thinking opening a business, I'll say somewhere between October to December, I will suggest you to wait and open it in January, because you don't want for 2 months or less of like working to do all of the big documents. Wait 2 months and then open the business, and then you'll have to do everything by the end of the year.
We have a small question, important
Yeah.
one, sorry. Can you register as Osek Zair if you are receiving income abroad? That's the first question.
Okay. So you're going to give it, so you're working for abroad and you're going to get the money to your Israeli bank account?
No.
Well, actually, yeah, sorry, thank you, Mayan. The question is, so if I have clients in Europe, and I'm being paid into my my UK bank account, let's say, but then I have new clients in Israel, do I need to declare the income that I receive in Europe, in the UK, or so that was my question. Can I register as Osek Zair? And would I need to declare the income from abroad or only the income in Israel?
So it's a two-step question.
Yeah.
The first question I'm going to ask you, and it's good for everyone to hear that. Are you going to move the funds from your UK account to your Israeli account? If the answer is yes, so you have to declare it.
Okay.
If you're not going to move it and it's going to stay on your UK account, you don't have to declare it, but it will be better to do that. And the second, the second part to your answer is that Olim Chadashim has 10 years, I'll say, free pass from income from abroad. It means that any income that you're going to get from working, from listing your apartment or house, or just selling something, you have to declare it here. You don't have to declare it, but it's better to do that actually. But you're not paying taxes for that. It's one of the benefits for Olim Chadashim. After 10 years, you'll have to start paying taxes on that.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm sorry, but I heard the exact opposite. I heard that if you were a freelancer, you had to pay taxes on your non-Israeli income. So are you saying that if we're getting an income from abroad, like if I had a client in the United States, I would not have to declare that money?
So again, it really depends if you're moving it to your Israeli bank account or you're staying in your US bank account. If you're staying in your US account, legally, no one can know that you earn the money.
Oh. Okay.
I'll say it's a small note that US and Israel, even though that were really good allies, everything that regarding money and payments and everything, it's a bit complicated because the US doesn't have tax amenities with us, with Israel. So please don't do it on your own. It's really complicated, and do it with a book accountant.
Okay.
Europe is a lot easier.
Okay, we have another question. Is December the end of the financial year? Does the free pass also apply to income from abroad?
It's 10 years since you made Aliyah.
Yeah. And is December the end of the financial year?
Yeah.
Okay.
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 New regulation that I passed in last year in 2024, that if you're going to get payments higher than 25,000 shekels for one payment, you have to get a number for that invoice. It applies only for Osek Morshe and Ltd company. It's not, right now, it doesn't include Osek Patur. They really want to apply it also for Osek Patur this year, maybe next year. So stay tuned, as we said. If you have any type of internet invoice, you don't do anything. You're just writing it down, sending it with one click, and you're getting the number from the tax authorities. You don't do anything. Everyone knows already how to work with that. It's fine. It doesn't create a mess. They just want really to reduce the amount of people who are using cash or making large amount like scales businesses without them knowing that, and people just not paying taxes. That's it. Okay, this is clear?
Yeah.
Great. Basically, we're at the end. This is just common mistakes. I think that I really highlighted them through everything and through the evening. Don't mix funds. Don't register too late. Don't send invoices. It's really important. It's part of your job as a business owner. Don't keep receipt. You have to send them in order to get the reductions. Track deductions, because it's money for you. You'll pay less if you can prove that you really didn't just get the money, you used it in order to make your business better. And really don't do it alone, as I said, especially at the beginning. And that's it. Thank you so much. If you have more questions, I'm here right now.
Thank you very much, Ina. I will, you guys ask for the QR. So, Ina, so I will share it so you can have those who are interested. All right, so this is the QR for the post-Aliyah program. For those who are in Israel, the Gvahim Career Center program, the GCC. Okay, this is the QR. Take your time. Let me know when it's done. And, okay, I'm waiting.
Ina?
Yeah.
Okay, can I ask the last question? Well, maybe
course.
it's not the last.
Sure.
Okay, it might be a bit specific, so I'm not sure if everyone else is interested, but let's say a scenario in which you know, sometimes you don't start a business, you buy a business, right?
Okay.
And let's say the scenario is that the business is not necessarily in Israel. It's let's say it's an online service provider or so, right? So
Okay.
the business is not here. Let's say it's in Europe, and you're going to, you know, you can buy it. You buy that. So would you? I'm not sure yet because it's just a possibility. So would you have to register that as an Israeli business, kind of transfer everything to Israel, or I don't know if this is something frequent that many people do. Or is it a complication to, let's say, buy a business abroad, you know?
So I'll say it with a big start, like, I'm not a book accountant. If it's not going to be registered here in Israel as a business and it's going to be registered in Europe, and it means that you're getting all the funds in Europe, it's usually can be declared as the 10-year pass.
As the 10-year pass, I'm sorry,
The 10-year pass is Oleh Hadash, that you don't have to pay taxes for that. Having said that, if they know that your base is here and you are the one who is in charge and the one who is in the head of the company, even though it's registered in Europe, and you're going to transfer the money to Israel.
10 years, you don't have to report your income from abroad.
Just a second, Yuda, I'll answer that. And you're going to transfer all the money from the company to Israel. It really depends which country is that. If we have any tax declaration between those two countries or not.
Right. And of course, you can register it as a business in Israel. You're operating it from Israel, even if the business was open somewhere else.
Yeah.
Would that be the case? You have to do that? I mean, or it's
Um,
better to do that?
Again, it really depends what you want to get
depends.
from it and how much is going to be the income, and if you have employees and if you have anything, because some countries it will be better for you to not to have the base here in Israel, because Israel consider quite expensive,
Yeah.
but to have it in the origin country because they have better tax laws and they have a declaration with Israel.
Okay, I have to check that exactly, the country specifically.
So it really depends on the country. So for example, Belarus, who is a post-communist country, have a great just declaration between Israel and Belarus, but France and Israel, it's not that good. But you don't want to open a business in Belarus, trust me.
Ina, does this thing about the Oleh Hadash, the 10-year, apply also to a Toshav Chozer, or it
No.
doesn't apply anymore?
As
Okay.
I remember, it's
So I tell you something.
Only
For Toshav Chozer,
Thanks.
for Toshav Chozer, if you're a Toshav Chozer and you have a business abroad, okay, then you are free of declaration for 10 years before and after, but only if your business is still abroad, okay? That's something else. And then you have to go to a lawyer to really prepare the documentation and prove it. As for your benefits here, I'm not sure. Okay, guys?
Ina, I have a question.
yeah.
Yes,
If we
please.
have time.
Yes, of course.
For example, if I have online business, a small one, and I do it based in Israel, are there any specific nuances or how say any special things that I need to keep in mind?
Well, if you're working from home, part of your deduction can be rent, can be arnona. It's not for the whole apartment. It's for usually one room that you're working from. And it's usually, that's why 1/4 of the arnona, or how many bedrooms you have in the apartment. It's, again, I'll just assume that you have four rooms. It will just be easier for the conversation. So it's 1/4 of your electricity bill also. It's really important to know that if you have your discount for arnona on the first year, it doesn't apply together. It's after that. You also can get deductions on buying things for home or for operating your business, like a new computer, a new phone, if you can prove that you're using your phone, or I don't know, any electronic devices that can support your business. If it's usually an online, you can't prove that you need a card for that, so you can't put this one. But there's a lot of new, like, small nuances you can put on that.
Sorry, was that for Osek Patur or Osek Morshe, or what were you talking about?
Everyone.
Oh, okay, got it.
Except of Osek Zair.
Well, what's different of Osek Zair?
As I said, Osek Zair, you can't just say, hey, I want to put that and that and that as a
30%.
deduction. It's just
Right.
30% of your income, and that's it.